Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, California Weather Watch. Today is March 21st, and right now we are looking at the Bay Area Doppler radar. Take a look at this system rolling in here, bringing some very heavy rain across the Bay Area with it. If you look closely, you can see what looks to be an eye on this storm. That's the center of that low pressure system off the coastline. This is going to really kick up the winds as we go through the morning and early afternoon hours. We'll take a look at those details here, but I just thought I'd show you this Doppler radar loop. Very impressive band of precipitation coming in with this system. And this low pressure is just going to come and sit and park itself off the coastline there as it starts to fill and weaken as we go through the day today into tomorrow morning. More on that here in a moment. So taking a look at the infrared satellite imagery, you can see that's where that low pressure system Curly Q is, right here off the coastline. And again, this is going to sit here for most of the day today, bringing some cold air and some thunderstorm potential with it across the region. You can see the atmospheric river now pushing through Southern California here. And it's a good thing this thing is progressive and getting out of the region here quickly so we don't exacerbate the flooding too much. But even with that said, we still have a lot of precipitation to go here across the state coming up. This is looking at the temperature at 5,000 feet, and I'll put it into motion. You can see that low pressure system here with the cold air aloft interacting with this mid-latitude cyclone. You can almost kind of see it wrapping around there with that low pressure center sitting off the coastline there. So kind of an interesting look at things. This would be at 2,500 feet temperature, and you can see the low pressure center there as the cold air wraps around this mid-latitude cyclone. It's going to sit off the Bay Area as we go through the day today. Now we're looking at 2,500 feet, about 925 millibars, and you can see the strong winds associated with this system. A lot of the higher terrain is going to get some strong winds, and mainly the coastal areas here. This low pressure system is not going to dive through and bring its strongest gradient across some of the valley areas, though. So this is probably not going to be as high impact as the last mid-latitude cyclone that we had go through, but still, it is bringing some powerful winds. Soils are saturated. We're probably going to get some increased tree fall damage out there as well. And then this low pressure system, of course, is going to continue to spread precipitation across the region here, and then it's pumping this cold air behind it into the area too for thunderstorm potential. This is looking at current hazards. We do have these flood watches. We've got high wind warnings, advisories, winter storm warnings all over the place, wind advisories down through the deserts as well. And that's to be expected with a system such as this. Here we go, day one, thunderstorm potential. You can see includes much of California, including Southern California here. Day two, just for Southern California here, as this system by this point is starting to move out of the region. This is day one excessive rainfall outlook. So this means about a 20 to 50% chance of flash flood conditions within any given 25-mile point. And then you can see slight would be 10 to 20%, marginal 5 to 10% there. So yeah, this system's going to bring a few rounds of precipitation and some thunderstorm potential here, some highly variable precipitation amounts, especially across the higher terrain, likely with this system. And you can see that slight potential out there through Arizona today as well. This is tomorrow as the system's winding down, still just a marginal chance for some flash flooding conditions. This is moderate snow, Sacramento, California, talking about the snow potential coming from the Sierra Nevada. You can see 1 to 2 feet across higher elevations south of Highway 50. Big wind gusts out there. Do not travel if you don't have to. You guys know the drill as we continue to build up this snowpack across the Sierra Nevada. Strong to damaging winds. Nice graphic here from National Weather Service Bay Area, and you can see the high wind warnings. Generally for the higher terrain here, the advisory does include a lot of the Bay Area there for gusts 45, 57 miles per hour below 900 feet there. So yeah. Heads up, the winds are still yet to come as I make this video at about 7:30 a.m. this morning. This is Los Angeles. You can see some big winds for some of the coasts, the valleys, and mountain deserts out there, potentially gusting to 75 miles per hour. You can see the snow totals, big amounts coming for the higher terrain, 2 to 5 feet above 6,000. Impacts and actions over here on the right. You guys know the drill. You're becoming experts here across the state of California so far since after this winter/spring with all these storms rolling in. This is looking at the European as of last night. On track. The European doing very well with the position of this low here. And you remember, if you do remember, I talked about this yesterday. The European was including the Bay Area and some of the stronger winds, and that's kind of where we're trending now. Not as strong as the last system, but still enough to bring some trees down and cause some power outages. But you can see that low pressure system kind of sits, spins, and fills right off the coastline there before it finally goes away as we go through Wednesday. Now taking a look at the NAM3 cam, this is the surface pressure map here, and you can see the precipitation and type. Again, snow for the higher terrain, and you can see it kind of spin this precipitation back into the region here, just kind of giving you a visual diagram as we go through Wednesday morning. Things finally starting to calm down a bit, but you're going to continue with this showery activity as you go through the day Wednesday. This is max 10-meter wind gust here. This is the HRRR 3KM 12Z hot off the presses here, and you can see the big winds associated with this storm here. So as we go through the late morning, early afternoon hours, probably your best chance for some gusty winds across the Bay Area, and again, mainly across the higher terrain and some of the coastal regions here, all the way down through Southern California, including the coastal areas through San Diego up towards Oceanside and whatnot. Even some of the LA metro is probably going to get gusty along the coastline as well. Sierra Nevada, higher terrain again, and some of Nevada getting some pretty gusty winds out of the system as well. And yeah, so we'll take a look at the NAM 3KM now. This is, again, hot off the presses, 12Z, and you can see some of the Bay Area getting included as we go through this afternoon, so the strong winds are not there just yet. Coastal regions, higher terrain, and some of the coastal areas all the way down through Southern California. Again, this is the HRRR, shows a little bit stronger wind gusts across the Bay Area, as you can see there. So just, be prepared for that. The potential for 50-mile-per-hour gusts does exist, even for some of the lower elevations across the Bay Area as we go through the day today. This is the NAM 3KM total precipitation in inches. Let this play out, and you can just see some of the huge amounts coming across Southern California, especially the higher terrain there. Coastal regions, Big Sur, up towards the Bay Area. And this low pressure system, since it's so close and spinning, it's bound to bring some precipitation surprises and just how much falls across some of the Bay Area and the higher terrain around the Central California coastline also. So now we're looking at the European on the left and the GFS on the right. And since we're in the short term, we have pretty good model agreement. As you can see, the ensemble members have kind of focused on this area where that low is going to be. The European leaves it a little bit more strong as we go through this afternoon here versus the GFS. But for the most part, pretty good model agreement. Just wanted to show you guys that. As always, in the short term, things line up a lot better with these weather models. And then you can see the agreement with this low just kind of sitting off the coastline there and filling as we go through the day tomorrow. Here's that surface-based CAPE. This is convective available potential energy, and you can see that low pressure system is going to be here wrapping around this colder air aloft. That's going to enhance this thunderstorm threat as you go through the day today, and it will exist through tomorrow morning for some areas of Southern California, probably in through the afternoon hours as well. As you can see, now we're going on into about Wednesday night, early Thursday morning shown there. This is that atmospheric river, just a visual diagram of it being progressive and getting out of the region there. But again, with that thunderstorm activity, there's going to be some flooding concerns as some of these areas are going to get some pretty variable amounts with some pretty extreme amounts across the higher terrain especially. Now we're looking at the extended forecast. So we're looking at the European on the left, GFS on the right. First, you can see this storm system moving through that we're dealing with now that we've been talking about for it seems like days now. Sharp trough through the Pacific Northwest kind of leaves this trough open across much of the west coast here. Another system drops down out of the north and tries to set up off the coastline here. And you notice that good agreement between the GFS on the right and the European on the left there. This looks like another strong storm here, but it does stay a bit further out over the Pacific Ocean here. So that's a good thing. But this is going to be bringing precipitation and multiple rounds of it across the state. More mountain snows, more flooding concerns would be in effect with the system setting up shop there. So we'll watch this. We have plenty of time to look at it, but there is really good model agreement on that system setting up shop here. And this would really be, when does this start to set up? This is the following week here, showing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday shown there. So yeah, we have plenty of time to look at it. We'll see how this evolves in the future model runs coming up. This is last night's European as well. We're just kind of showing the system going through now. And you can see the trough kind of hanging out over the western U.S. Then the system drops down out of the north, starts to develop off the Oregon, California coastline there. And again, multiple rounds of precipitation possible with that. But again, we're a little bit out in fantasy land with that system right now. We'll just continue to see its development in the weather models as we go. This is 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. I sound like a broken record here. Again, with the above average signal across California through March 30th. Big bullseye here on the west coast through March 30th for temperature. And this is looking at the reservoir conditions, many of them up and above historical averages. So we're doing quite well across the state of California. This is Lake Shasta. Look at that. We're up towards the historical average, which is this light blue bulge there. And yeah, so we're right up against the historical average. The reservoir capacity is this blue line across the top there. And there's 1982-83 that got right up towards that reservoir capacity there. And there's 1977-78 with this blue line there. So we still may be, creeping up here for this Lake Shasta reservoir. But yeah, that's good news, though, folks. You got to have water to live, and we've really put a huge dent in this drought across the state here. So, yeah, strong winds are not there yet. Going to be picking up later this morning on into this afternoon, so heads up for that. Good thing this atmospheric river is getting out of here, but still, heads up across the region here. There's going to be that flooding potential as we go through the day today, and thunderstorm threat as well, more mountain snows. And we'll just watch that extended forecast day by day for that next storm system. But before that, we're going to have to deal with that cool trough as well, maybe some more snow across the area too. So we'll just watch that as we go day by day. So yeah, stay safe out there, stay alert, and we'll do this again tomorrow. I may do a live stream tonight, actually, depending on how things are going, or this afternoon. I'll see how that goes. So anyway, I hope you're having a good day. Stay safe, and we'll do this again either tonight or tomorrow.